What is going on, my beautiful LARPers and LARPettes? Today, I'm going to cover the Sig 1911X Full, and I'm going to be doing a direct comparison to the Sig 1911 Emperor Scorpion. But before I get into all that, what is my relationship with Sig Sauer themselves? I do get firearms in for testing, but I don't get to keep them unless I purchase them. If I don't want to purchase it, I send it back at the end of my review. I did purchase this Sig 1911 Emperor Scorpion here, though, many years before this relationship even became a thing. Now let's get right into the comparison here. I'm going to start off with the similarities first, then move on to the differences. But right at the front, you do get the same exact barrel bushing, as well as the same exact guide rod assembly. The barrels are both exactly 5 inches long, and if it was my guess, they probably are using the same exact barrels on both of these as well. Now, moving on down to the 1913 accessory rail here, you're gonna see a subtle difference. So aside from the styling, they're looking exactly the same. On the Scorpion, there is a tiny bit of a milling. It looks like it's cut into it a little bit more on the frame itself compared to the frame on the X Full here. There's just a slight subtle difference in milling between the two, but as far as the accessory rail goes, it looks exactly the same other than that milling. The trigger guard still is rounded off exactly the same. I would assume between these two, they probably are both using the same exact frame. They just milled the Emperor Scorpion more, and they probably just didn't mill this one to give you a more sleek look on the X Full. Now, grip texturing on the front, same thing. Backs are going to be different just because you can swap those out. So the grip on the back strap is more of a like scale looking thing, like dragon scale type thing, as opposed to the grip on the X Full is more of your traditional 1911 grip. As well as the grips themselves, they're still both G10 grips, but on this one you get more traditional styling compared to the like the dragon scale on this one. I actually like the dragon scale look on this one. Same exact magazine releases, and you do both get 2 8-round magazines on both of these guys. Sorry, I'm kind of just waving guns around here, trying to give you guys a good comparison. But other than that, yeah, let me see. Skeletonized hammers are exactly the same, as well as your grip safeties here. This one's just a little bit more of a high polished look compared to the matte look on this one. The serrations are, I think, almost identical on both of these. You just get a little bit more front serration on this guy here compared to this one right here. And I guess it's a little bit different there. Let me get a good video for you guys. You guys tell me if the actual styling is different. It looks like the X Full has more serrations itself, but the actual styling of it looks exactly the same to me. Still get the same external extractors as well. But I think as far as similarities, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go over the differences, starting with the sights. When it comes to these sights, they are both day-night sights, but this one here is called the Sig Light day-night sights, I believe, and this is the Sig X-Ray 3 night sights on this one. The differences that you're going to see is the dovetail cutouts on both of these here. If I give you a top side view, the Emperor Scorpion has a bigger dovetail cutout compared to the Sig X Full here. It's a very small little dovetail cutout, but they're both basically going to serve the same purpose. They're going to have a bright front sight. Well, it's brighter on the Emperor Scorpion. You get a bright green compared to a white, and they both glow in the dark. Downside to the Emperor Scorpion sights here is that you get like a ramp shelf looking rear end here, and you can't really rack that off of like your pants or a table or something like that. On the X Full here, you get a flat. At the front of those sights, you can use that to rack it off maybe your belt or maybe off of a table if you needed to do one-handed manipulations. You can't really do that with these sights here. I mean, you can probably figure out a way, but it's just going to be easier to hook something onto those sights here. Now, moving on, you're going to notice that there is an optic cut now on the X Full, but not on the Emperor Scorpion. Now, that is a huge, huge, huge plus for me, just to have the option of putting an optic on to this 1911. This one is chambered, well, not chambered. This one is cut for the RMSC footprint, so any of your little small little red dots will fit on this guy here. Now moving on to the safety, manual safeties here. The one on the Emperor Scorpions are tiny little ambidextrous safeties there. They're still simple and easy to get to, but these ones are like your traditional sized 1911 ambidextrous safeties here. I much more prefer the safety on this one than on the Emperor Scorpion. It just feels more natural for me. And as far as the differences in the slide stops, you do get two different stylings here. This is more of a squared out profiling on the slide stop, slide release on the Emperor Scorpion, as opposed to the slide stop, slide release on the X Full here. It is extended. I feel like it's extended a little bit farther back so you can reach it if you have shorter fingers on this one here. So as far as the controls for the slide stop and the safety, I prefer the X Full compared to the Emperor Scorpion. Now moving on to the triggers, you get a curved skeletonized trigger on the Emperor Scorpion, but you get a like flat, I would consider that still a flat face. It looks like it has a little angle to it, but a flat face non-skeletonized trigger on the X Full here. I don't know which one I really prefer. I feel like I shoot them both pretty much the same. I think I just like the curved and skeletonized look of the Emperor Scorpion more than this flat, plain trigger on this one. I mean, again, that's just personal preference for me. You guys might have a little bit of preference when it comes to flat face triggers, but I like the curved trigger. I don't know, it just feels better for me. Now moving on down to another difference is the magwells. The magwells, this one on the left here, the Emperor Scorpion, the magwell is actually integrated into the G10 grips there, as opposed to the Emperor or the X Full right here. This one has a metal magwell all the way around that's connected to the frame itself. So this one's a little bit more traditional than this one, or I don't know what's really traditional for magwells on a 1911. I think there's been some that are kind of like this. But anyways, G10 grips are part of the magwell on the Emperor Scorpion. You get a metal magwell on this one. I much prefer the metal magwell. It typically beat the piss out of the magwells on my any gun, and I think if I beat the piss out of this one, it'll start to destroy the grips there. So I like this one on the X Full a lot more. Now lastly, the major difference between these two is going to be the actual style of the slide itself, right? So if you're looking at the slide on the Emperor Scorpion, it's just a squared out profiling 1911. This is a little bit different than your normal 1911s because the normal 1911s you just get a rounded top. There are different style 1911s, but typically what you see in a 1911 is a round gun. Now this one is a squared out profiling. Compared to this one here, it's not really completely rounded off, but they did take their 320 design and literally just put it into the slide of this X Full here. So if you wanted a 320 style of 1911, this is the gun for you right here. It gives you that nice angled cut on the left and right, and it basically, yeah, to me, if you looked at it top side, you would think it's a Sig 320, but then it's a single stack 45. Aside from that big difference there, the color, this one is a Coyote PVD coating. This is a, I don't know what this color is. I think this is like a desert tan PVD coating. And I think I like this one a little bit more because this one looks a little inconsistent to me. So the Coyote color on the slide itself is a little bit lighter than the frame. The frame, I don't know if I can get you a good video of it or a photo, but the frame is darker than the slide, and that kind of, it gets my OCD a little bit riled up when I don't get the colors matching exactly. But again, it's not gonna affect the performance, so who the hell cares? I mean, this one though, I think I prefer the desert tan color on this one compared to the Coyote. Now that pretty much does it, guys. As far as shootability and reliability, I only shot like around 500 through this one. I have like 1,000 through this one. Don't remember having any issues with this one here, but This one did not give me any issues within the 500 rounds that I did shoot it. But overall, I really like the styling of this one. I like that it matches other 320s out there, but I also don't want to give up this styling. I think this one's pretty damn unique, and I think the some of the milling differences on this one kind of sets this apart from this one. And as far as price goes, this one goes for like 1,200 bucks. They might be going cheaper now that these are out, or they might just phase this one out completely and just replace it with this one. But this one's around 1,200 bucks or so, and this one's around 1,500 bucks or so. So basically, if you're going to be dropping the coin for this, you got to see what is going to be worth it for you on this. And the biggest thing that I'm seeing that sets this apart from this one is the optic cut. So you have an optic option on this one and not on this one. Aside from that, it is basically the same exact gun, just different body style, I guess. So if you want to spend the coin to drop on this one, go for it. But if you want to buy this one, I don't think you're going to get a ton of differences in performance upgrades for this one compared to this one. And if you do decide you want to do an optic cut later, if you can, then you're going to have to I don't know, drop maybe 200 bucks into this one just to get an optic cut, and you're pretty much almost there with the price of this one. So just food for thought there. If you do get this and get an optic cut, you're pretty much already at this price. But what do you think about this new offering from Sig? Is it just a more dressed up Sig Emperor Scorpion, or is it just something that should phase out the Emperor Scorpion and you think it's a lot better than that? I think if they did something like this, made it double stack and chambered it in 9mm, I think that'll be a winner there. But overall, really cool guns. I absolutely love 1911s. I've owned 1911s pretty much all my life, and I think they are constantly putting out really cool guns. So go ahead and let me know what your thoughts are about the X Full or the Emperor Scorpion. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you all. Love you all. Catch you in the next one.